William Collins presents The Globalist, Peter Sutherland, His Life and Legacy, by John Walsh. Read by John Cormack. Prologue. On the morning of the 11th of September 2016, a 70-year-old Irishman suffered a heart attack and collapsed on a footpath in London. He had been walking to Mass, as he had done every Sunday throughout his life. A number of people rushed to his aid. He was carrying no identification. During the 9 minutes it took the ambulance to arrive, those who attended to the stricken man could scarcely have realized who lay before them. It was Peter Sutherland. The father of globalisation and God's banker are among the sobriquets he had collected during his career. He was possibly the most influential Irish person ever, and a key figure in world history over the past few decades. In many ways, he was the personification of the changing relationship between Ireland and Britain. As a European Commissioner for Competition, he had taken on the British government and prevailed. He would later become chairman of BP, one of the UK's largest companies. He operated at the heart of the British establishment, yet he remained an outsider. He was a fiercely proud Irishman, and even though his influence spanned continents, he never strayed too far from his roots. Early years. Chapter 1. Gonzaga and Childhood in Monkstown. Peter Dennis Sutherland was born into a prosperous family in Dublin on the 25th of April 1946. His parents, Billy and Barbara, lived on the hill in Monkstown, a middle-class village in South Dublin. Ireland had remained neutral during the Second World War, but memories of two painful conflicts that marked the birth of the Irish state over 20 years before were still an open sore. The country was economically underdeveloped and would remain so for another 5 decades. But Dublin retained characteristics of its former imperial past. There was the city's grandeur, its private schools and private clubs. This was the Dublin into which Sutherland was born, and which would mould his formative years. Peter had 2 sisters, Karen and Jill, and a younger brother David who predeceased him in 2006. But it was his father who was a strong and enduring influence on his life. Billy Sutherland, along with the father of Peter Matthews, the late Fine Gael TD, Teocht Dola, a member of the Dáil, was a partner in the insurance firm Matthews, Mulcahy and Sutherland. William Sutherland and his 2 sons, William Jr., Peter's great-grandfather, and George, arrived in Ireland from Wick in Scotland around 1850. They were coopers by trade. William Jr., a Scottish Presbyterian, married Sarah Cook, a Roman Catholic, in Dublin in 1857. 5 years later the couple moved to Cork, and George followed his brother to the city, where the 2 of them opened their own businesses. Records from 1870 show that George was a fish merchant at the Coal Quay, while William is listed as a publican at 27 Cook Street. By 1880, when William and Sarah had 11 children, William and George are both listed as fish merchants, with substantial commercial and residential property in Lavat's Quay. Between 1880 and 1887, William moved to Newcastle in England on his own. He returned to Sarah shortly before his death, whereupon he converted to Catholicism. Sutherland's grandfather, also called Peter, was born in 1862. He moved to Dublin and became the treasurer of Dublin City Council, marrying Mary Fitzpatrick in 1906. Sutherland's father, William George Anthony, was born in 1914.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?